and you hope that, I guess best case scenario would be that it was just something that he sustained on that play, and maybe he was knocked unconscious for a time. He didn't appear to be moving when he was down on the field, but then as you just said, Mike, and or I'm reading here on Twitter, you're talking, I'm trying to get updates here too. It did appear that he was moving, or there was, his feet were moving, or there was something going on. Obviously, they're going to be super, super careful with moving him in that situation. And I guess that would be the hope right now, that it was, something that maybe he was unconscious for a moment after the play, or for a few moments after the play. But, any talk about the game, which we'll get into eventually, just know that that's what we're thinking about. That's what I think everybody is thinking about, hoping for, praying for, that he's going to be okay. And, the rest of this is rather inconsequential. And now we sit here and talk about it like, I wonder if they're going to call the game. Of course they did. It's the right thing to do. Preseason game or not, that's it. You've got a player who's down and is, obviously in a very serious situation. All right, let's stop this. Let's go. So that's what they did.
Yeah, I think that made all the sense in the world at that point. And it's impossible to speculate. We all saw it. The pitchers, I think, told everybody. Didn't really get a chance to see the play. Again, just saw it live. I don't think we ever got a replay. But yeah, and it's you could see the way the players reacted. That's always, to me, my tip-off. And immediately when he went down, players from both teams were frantically waving in medical personnel. So I think you guys said everything that needs to be said. All we can do is hope that Isaiah Bolden's going to be okay.
Yeah, I did. I did see a couple of replays just on Twitter. It's just, kind of a crossing collision, and it looks kind of like, it looked like it was. I think it was Calvin Munson, who was. I thought it might have been him based on his reaction. Yeah, and Bolden was. It almost looked like he had turned a little bit, and it just looked like he got swiped, on the side of the head. I don't want to speculate too much, but it was a quick bang bang kind of situation.
No, and I think we learned, the folly in that, and trying to, everybody looked at the DeMar Hamlin play over and over again. What happened? What do we know? We don't know. Something obviously very serious happened to Isaiah Bolden in that moment, in that instant. And when he was down motionless on the field, and as you said, Paul, when the players from both teams immediately stop and gather, they know, because they're close to the action, that there's something serious taking place, something serious going on. We can only hope that it resolves itself and we get some good news here soon, and we will very much stay on top of it. And with the people that we have in Green Bay, letting you know as soon as we find something out. And good news is what we're waiting for right now, which is hopefully something that we can.
And I think we can. Obviously that's the story tonight is Isaiah Bolden, and obviously that's first and foremost on everybody's mind. But I do think we can, sort of move forward and talk about the game. We'll do goods and the bads.
Yeah.
And obviously it's with a different kind of, especially for me, probably not going to get a lot of snark tonight. But just in general, probably a different tenor to our tone and whatnot. But I do think there were some good and bad things tonight that we, should probably get into.
I think we can even skip the good, the bad, and the injured intro, just because, I don't know, it just doesn't feel like that type of a mood right now. But let's start with some stuff on the good list here. And I'll keep reiterating, as soon as we find out something about Isaiah Bolden, we'll let you know.
Yeah,
we'll
we have our phones open. Everybody's sort of looking to see if we can hear anything from our people that are actually at Lambeau.
But in terms of good things that happened on the field tonight before that happened, Mike,
sure.
You want to lead us off here?
Yeah, I thought I'll start with Kendrick Bourne. I mean, I thought a couple nice catches, went up and got one. Just the kind of performance I haven't really seen from Bourne.
Top of my list,
in a while. I love the catch. He went up and got it. I love the little one on the sidelines as well. So he didn't play a ton of snaps, but I thought he was really active in a way that I haven't seen in a while. So it's just a guy with positive energy getting a quality night. I think that'll be a nice boost for Kendrick Bourne. Hopefully, there he is. Nice little grab right there.
I tell you what, the elevated catch, that's something that I don't know. Is that something that we can expect to see more of? Is that something you want to rely on? Is that something that is?
The only thing I mean, this is I guess might qualify as snark, and I'm not meaning it to be. The only thing I liked about that play was the result.
Right.
Like
I thought
that the throw was high. Bourne does a great job of going to get it, but I'd rather not see those kinds of plays. Those are the ones that you worry about, big hits coming and whatnot. But I agree 1,000% with Mike. I thought Bourne on that first drive, my key to the game was I wanted to see a little offensive rhythm. I'm not sure I got it, but Bourne on that drive, the 2nd and 11 slant, this play right here, that sets you up.
RPO, yeah.
I would have liked to have seen. Listen, I'm nitpicking. I would have liked to have seen it be a little bit crisper on a 20-yard drive than it was. But I really liked that slant from Bourne, and that's obviously they threw a ton of slants tonight. So I think it's safe to say that that's something Billy O'Brien wants to put in the playbook.
We just saw the play right there, the elevated reception there. It's you say that's the type of play where you can get injured. Obviously, that's the worst thing that can happen. There's a ton of other bad things that can happen.
Those are the ones that
like
end up in deflected interceptions,
yes.
Which is really more what I'm talking about. A guy goes up, it goes off his hands. Easy pick for the safety way in the back. So I agree with Mike. My first one is going to be Mac himself. I thought Mac wasn't great, but I thought he looked more like rookie year Mac tonight than he did last year. And I don't have a lot to quantify. It was 6 for 9, 52 yards. It was a little choppy, but I thought his poise in the pocket was better tonight than what I remember it last year for most of the season. Maybe I'm looking at this with rose-colored glasses a little bit, but I thought he resembled his rookie year self more so than he did last year. And I thought they had some good third down conversions. Not a ton of offense. I mean, I think they had like 128 yards in the first half, so it wasn't a ton. But I thought there were signs there of better things to come.
My first good of the night was the Patriots' ability to capitalize on that penalty in the end zone and actually score. We were talking about as we were watching, Deuce and I, along with Tamara and Matt here, because Paul, of course, is off in the Bob's Discount Furniture Studio, doing your thing. You're
true.
Called upon for television duty. But, Deuce and I were talking about, it's like, that's a Patriots, conversion right there. You capitalize on a couple of things, kind of
botch snap. It was a little taste of last year, a little bit.
Do you understand what I'm saying? What was the drive officially? 22 yards.
I'll tell you.
Right. So,
and I would feel like if it
starts with the fumble recovery.
5 yards, 21. 5 plays, 21
and it's
yards.
not surgical.
I would have felt better if it was just, 6 yards, 5 yards, 4
touchdown.
yards, 8 yards, 4-yard touchdown run.
Right.
It was kind of a pick three. It was kind of a hardy pick three.
But the fact is, when you get gifted a couple of things, and look, the botch snap is one thing. You got to recover the fumble, right? And then when you do get that penalty down inside in your 1st and goal, I was just thankful that it didn't take 2 or 3 plays from there to punch the ball in.
I would feel so much differently about that if the fade to Parker was a touchdown.
Yeah, me too.
I would too.
Because it was kind of a ticky-tack.
Okay, but I also, at this stage, especially preseason, you're still working on things and you don't know what the offense is going to be. I mean, would it have shocked you if the Patriots came away from that, especially before the penalty with only a field goal, and it was just
that's what I said. If it was a pick three, we'd be looking at it a lot different.
Okay.
But it wasn't.
But
they got in the end zone.
We'd be looking at it differently, and we wouldn't be all that surprised. It's like, well, it's still a work in progress. They didn't have to settle for that. They took advantage of the things that fell their way. It went down as my first good of the night. It really did.
Yeah, and a little bit kind of connected to Paul's. My next one is Ramondre Stevenson. Mostly just for that one run. But I thought on that run, and I probably got to go back and look on it, but it felt like Mac audibled to that.
The long run?
Yeah.
Yes, he did. Absolutely.
So I think
Which I don't know how long it was, but
23 yards.
Good run.
But good run. It wasn't, again.
Wasn't like it blew up.
Game.
It wasn't like a whole, just got blown open. And he made a nice cut. And then I thought he accelerated through. It's right here. This is a good run.
Yeah,
this is vintage Ramondre.
I thought he looked good. I'm going to kind of use that as a platform, though, to just talk a little bit about Mac, because what you're saying, Paul, is kind of what I felt a little bit in that first practice, where he just looks a little bit more in command, a little bit more sure of what's going on. It hasn't, he didn't light the world up tonight, but he looked like he's recognizing what's coming at him. He's, got the confidence to change to a run, and I think that was, an example of a play where it's Mac, it's the whole offense kind of clicking together. So I give Ramondre the nod, but I think that was as much connected to Mac as anything.
Yeah, I like the including that Stevenson run, and the goal line run was not a walk in either. It was tough, hard fought run.
Yep.
I'm going to go with Jalen Mills as well, who I thought was really active. And quite honestly, I didn't love much of the other stuff I saw defensively tonight. Mm-hmm. But I thought he was pretty active. I thought he was around the ball a little bit. I thought he was, his feisty self is, always got something to say. I thought he was pretty active. And he made a play. They ended up not mattering because they got the first down on the next play. But he made an unbelievable tackle on I think it was like 3rd and 2. And it didn't seem like it was possible to stop it short of the first down. And he did. Made a great tackle to prevent the first down. So I thought he was pretty active in this game tonight, and I didn't really think many other defensive players were. So he stood out to me.
What else you got? Good stuff tonight, Mike.
I'm starting to get down to the bottom of the barrel here. I probably
J.J. Taylor?
Yeah, that's a good one. You want to? Yeah, is that yours? You taking that one?
Yeah. He's
good. This is what he does. This is what he does. Preseason, electric, little boost.
August, Mr. August.
Second half, second, third stringers. He's ready to go, and you wonder at what point is it going to translate ever to an actual real game and consistent production in the NFL. But every time he gets in there, I mean, it's funny because I remember when he was like a potential undrafted free agent and just saying, look, I don't have high hopes, but he'd be a lot of fun to watch in the preseason. And, here we are, 3-4 seasons later, we're still watching J.J. Taylor dance around the preseason football field. So, that's fun. I appreciate Hardy for feeding me that one, though.
Yeah, I thought he showed a little J.J. Taylor wiggle. I don't think there's another running back that they have that has that.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know if it translates to a job, but
yeah.
He does have a skill
that's the thing
that the other guys in that backfield don't.
Yeah, 4 carries for 29 yards. He had 3 catches for another 27. So okay.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good inclusion, Hardy.
Show me a little something there, and it's enough to keep things moving there, and provide a little bit of a spark in it. Late in the game where you're wondering, it's like, well, is this it? Is this all that they have? No, they got a few other things there. Don't know if it's going to translate anything into the regular season, but that's, when you're called upon to do something in a game like this at that time, you're going to do it or not. He did it. Well, they'll put him on the good list.
Yeah.
So I'm also going to put Keyshawn Boutte on the good list.
Yeah. I got him.
Just more so than tonight, I think that's what you want to see from your young guys, like ascending player. I think he's been coming on a little bit the last handful of camp practices that we saw in Foxborough. A lot of people talked about what he did in the first day of the joint practices, and he gets an opportunity to hit that slant. Like I said, the Patriots threw a lot of these tonight. He obviously takes advantage of a bad angle by the safety there, but you saw some of the LSU explosiveness. With the ball in his hands after the catch, no one was catching him.
That's what he did at college. I mean, these look like the kind of plays he had there. So, yeah.
So he made my good list.
Yeah.
We got Bourne. Douglas. Adam, a nice third down conversion early on in the game.
Tell you what I really liked about that particular play is, and Zoe talked about this a little bit on the broadcast, sort of read the coverage and sat. And, like, I'm not positive that the way we talked about it on the broadcast is right, but it kind of looked like they recognized the coverage and threw it back, like behind him, almost back shoulder on purpose. And the important thing for Douglas is to recognize that.
Right.
And, that was a nice conversion. That was like a 3rd and 10, I think.
Yeah. 3rd and 10. I mean, it's just like confidence. I think for Mac, young receiver, those are the kind of plays that he makes those catches.
To me like he sits there now. On first blush, you can look and say, "Well, it's a bad throw. It's behind him. He's supposed to put it on him there." You don't want to lead him because you lead him and you're going to get him lit up.
Yeah. By the way, we have a statement from the Patriots on Isaiah Bolden. Patriots cornerback Isaiah Bolden sustained an injury during the fourth quarter of tonight's game. He had feeling in all his extremities, but has been taken to a local hospital for further tests and observation.
All right. I think that's probably about as good as you could hope for.
That's
with a statement
again
at this hour.
Yep, good, fine, okay. We'll take it as we can get it. And of course, we want the all clear. That's not going to happen right away.
No, they're going to check him out.
Yeah. Well, it's just, I think at this point you start with Damar Hamlin. All right, his heart didn't stop apparently, and he's hopefully not paralyzed. And those are the two biggest things to start with. And hopefully he's able to begin a road to recovery. But good to hear that.
Okay. All right. So I don't know that we're going to get any more officially tonight. But
I think you guys are right. I think that's about as good as you could hope for right now. Yeah. I would say just continuing some of these good things that I saw tonight. I think you could put Zappe in both categories. I thought he was a little reckless, but made some plays. He's a gamer.
That's him.
He's a gamer. And the other thing that it really stuck out to me was I thought their coverage tonight in special teams was really good. Chris Board. Now, they had some penalties in special teams,
Board
too.
Had a penalty.
Chris Board, Brendan Schooler, some punt returns that looked like they had some room. They had some space to operate. And they weren't really able to generate a whole lot, not without penalties anyway. So there's a couple things that I had scribbled down.
Yeah. I'm kind of down to plays now myself. Maybe just a couple stick taps, as we would say in hockey, for Miles Bryant. Nice pass breakup on 3rd and 4.
Excellent third down coverage.
Really good third down. Want to give one
stick tap.
Thank you. I also another third down pass breakup for Rodney Randall that 3rd and 8 that I liked and was
my
running
guy
that
you and Evan make fun of me all the time.
Hot Rodney Randall, him and there's just those two plays specifically. I thought were good coverage, and especially two guys who have certainly been picked on a little bit here the last couple of weeks. So nice play by Miles and a nice play for Rodney Randall there, right in coverage and avoided getting a penalty.
Yeah. All right, let's get to some of the bads. Yeah. Let me just lead us off because I like to go chronologically with how I kind of keep track of these things. The first one I had on the night was after that turnover, the false start by Trent Brown. I mean, it's exactly what you don't want to see in a preseason game. It's like it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be flawless, eye-popping execution on offense. How about when you get the ball and it's okay, here you go. It's your first play from scrimmage. What are we going to do? The guy that everyone's is saying, it's like, oh, you're going to have Trent Brown in there and engaged and playing his game both mentally and physically. And it's the false start that, on the broadcast, I think they said any official in the league is going to call that. It's glaring. It's obvious. It's right there. And that's
just after a whole season, he got away with it every
That's what I was going to say. I'm like, that's what he did all last year. Like, how many times
he literally did that every game last year.
They didn't call it. I couldn't believe it. And when they started off with that.
There were a handful of times I remember last year and us saying, like, wow, I can't believe they didn't catch that. But
I mean,
this one tonight, it's like, there's no way he's thinking I can keep playing like that and get away with it.
This one might have been a little bit more egregious than the ones last year.
It's just unbelievable.
But it's still him, and I don't know what it says about like if he feels that he doesn't have the speed to get out there or what. But either way, they took him out of the game because they got Bill Murray playing tackle now. Their tackle depth is so thin that this guy who's already, jumping off, false starting first play of the series of the game, like they got to put him in ice. Like they can't afford to lose him.
So I totally agree with you, Hardy, on that one. I had him high on my list. And yeah, you couldn't play him as long as you played the rest of the starters.
You couldn't bear to lose him right now. I mean,
he played a lot of snaps in the joint practices. You would have thought he would have been able to at least stay out there for I think it was 15. I have Mac for 16 snaps plus 2 penalties.
Mm-hmm.
And he couldn't make it all the way because the last of those 16 snaps is going to show up later in the bad list.
I just wanted to get that off my chest before we start talking about either the macro or more micro. But that was first. But Deuce, you wanna take it next?
Yeah. Run defense. Holy God!
I had that at the top of the list just based on the handful of plays before the bad snap.
Yeah.
I was like, what is going on here? All the starters are out there. What are we doing?
I mean, Godchaw getting pushed around. I mean,
it's hurt.
Like it's. I mean, part of it is preseason and yada yada yada. But still, I mean, it was all game on the touchdown. I think it was Uche and Bledsoe got kind of pinned inside. It just. I mean, I think even Bill addressed it before halftime. I think that was like one thing that he even brought up, which just tells you like it's definitely an issue if he's willing to bring it up.
Right. 22 for 94 yards, 4.3 a carry in the first half when you basically went wire to wire with your starters.
Yeah.
On defense, and they didn't have all their starters on offense. But the running game, even after, I think Aaron Jones only had 1 carry. Dillon had a handful, and then a couple of guys that I wasn't overly familiar with were breaking tackles.
Right.
I think that was interesting. And Bill saying that at halftime, Mike, stood out to me too. And unfortunately, I think on the broadcast, we misunderstood it. And by we, I don't mean me. We kept talking about Bill wanted to get more production out of the running game. I think he was talking about improving the run defense when he was talking to Steve Burton at halftime. He said, we got to get better against the run. I'm something like that. That was not good. I mean, better at this time of year, but you have Godchaw, Guy, Carl Davis should be allowing, 94 yards rushing in the first half of the game.
So I absolutely agree with you, and I'm just wondering, Deuce, did you see anything that they were doing defensively that would have explained that, or
they're just getting out muscled? They're getting outplayed. I think that's and I thought the run defense was
okay. Anything scheme wise that they were allowing for? They're like, this Jordan Love, he's got a little bit more.
Yes. There's fairness. They did a lot of the misdirection stuff, so they have to be disciplined on the edge, which I thought they did a really good job of. Probably should have included that.
The teacher Quais was a nice one.
Probably should have included that in the good, but I thought all of the guys on the edge, for the most part, didn't allow the quarterback that comfortable throw. You're supposed to, you do that hard play action and the misdirection boot.
Yeah.
Usually,
they love that. Yep.
Usually it's like we got that deep crosser coming, but every time they did it seemed like the Patriots were in his face.
Yeah, that's a good call out.
And didn't allow him to have the time that you would want on those.
I think what you saw too on those plays was kind of what I saw from Love in practice, where like when it's clean, it's good, but like he kind of panics.
Oh man,
when it's not there. It's
the
sporadic.
First 3 or 4 plays of the game were a nightmare for him.
Yeah.
Now after that, I thought he was pretty impressive.
I want to talk about him specifically a little bit later, so we can do that, but we'll stick with some of the things that, again, trying to remain positive here tonight. And by the way, if you're just joining us here and you're wondering what's going on with Isaiah Bolden, there was a statement from the Patriots. They said that Bolden sustained an injury. He had feeling in all his extremities, but has been taken to a local hospital for further tests and observations. So I think that's might be all we get officially from the team tonight, but so far I will take that as good news in terms of what's going on. So, but I'm just trying to remain positive overall. That's that's going to be my mantra tonight. So instead of bad things that could be worked on, how about this? What else could Paul? What else could the Patriots be working on this week?
Well, what else did I think stood out to me? Sam Roberts, some bad discipline, and I was a little disappointed. And I sent Fred a text in the middle of the game. Obviously, there was a lot of emotion on the field on Thursday. It was pretty chippy. I was a little disappointed to see that spill over into the game. Mm-hmm. I would have thought with whatever the nonsense was before the game, and I saw some footage of that. I don't know if you noticed it. It looked like our guys ran right through their guys in pregame warm. So I just thought that kind of start. I would have thought there would be nothing tonight in this game after the way Thursday's practice ended. Sam Roberts is trying to hustle and make a play. I don't think there was I don't think there was anything cheap about that. But then the reaction, it's like, I'm going to get up and I'm going to start pushing guys, and guess who comes in from the back?
13.
As always. You're seeing that this is the pregame right here. Sam Roberts, I thought, was a little undisciplined on that play, and I was a little. It's not really about Sam Roberts as much to me as it was about the Patriots. Yeah. I thought they looked like the other teams tonight, and I sort of think the Patriots are above that. Maybe that's a me problem. I have to start thinking differently.
Maybe not.
What else you got, Deuce?
I got situational defense. That was, a problem last week with giving up a score right before the half, and then again they allowed a field goal drive right before the half. Big play along the sidelines. Tough to tell if he did get both feet down in bounds. I mean,
he clearly did.
Did he?
Yeah, I don't really understand what. Nah, I should keep my problems with the telecast.
My eyes didn't see it.
Yeah, he gets 1 foot down clearly, the right foot, and then he toe tapped the other foot, and they sort of tackled him out of bounds to lift his foot off the ground, but both feet were on the ground.
This is the ankle right here.
Now you watch here, and they do such a great job of getting these plays. Okay, so he's got the ball now, foot's down, second foot tap right there. Watch the grass comes up, you can see it, and then they lift him up off the ground, and he goes out of bounds. If he had tapped the toe and then the heel came down out of bounds, it would be incomplete. But I think his foot comes off the ground here, and he has two feet.
Yeah, left foot down.
Ball's in his hands, right foot down, right there.
Yeah. See, I think initially I thought I didn't think he had the ball.
You would just like Bob and
I thought he had the ball now. That's when I thought.
So the first replay I saw, I looked. I said he's in, and then we're getting like when you have all the sort of whatever the in stadium, like the live feed. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not a television veteran. I don't know what all those different feeds are called. But we were listening to the referee talk to the truck.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
I wasn't, but
oh yeah.
So the guy that's with me in the studio is, and yeah, they kept saying like, oh, his other foot's out of bounds. I think it's his left foot. They said was out of bounds. I was like, no, his toe's in.
So it took me until seeing it this time
right
around
there.
to realize.
See?
No, what I see is what you pointed out the first time, Paul, is that he drags the left foot long before that foot. The foot comes up after he drags it the first time,
right.
And he has the ball. So to me, the point in the play is actually before what we're looking at right now. It's a little bit before that. He's got a drag that happens early on in the catch. Here, and now we got the re-rec. Thank you. It is the left foot drag. You see the grass come up. His left foot right after. Yes. That left
He's got the ball, and that foot's down, and the other foot clearly comes down.
Yeah, you can see the grass coming up there. So that's from the toe. Left foot got down. Right foot's in. It's a catch.
Yeah.
The only thing was, to me, is like, does he actually secure it? And then when I saw the replay, it was like he clearly had it. He never lost control of it.
We reviewed it. Great catch, great play. I mean, I thought the coverage was pretty good. That's like one of those plays where
terrible throw.
Terrible.
That was a terrible throw. That's the only thing I could say about that for Jordan Love.
But to the bigger point though, it was just bad situational football, and as much as you can maybe parse away run defense in the situational football in the preseason, it's hard to really have a flow of your defenses. So I get it, but still, 2 weeks in a row, you've given up a score right before the half. A couple years ago, that was a problem for this defense. So
that was another one.
Just something to stress.
The 2-minute drive after the Patriots tied it to allow that field goal at the end of the half. I totally agree with you, Mike. That's worth talking about. Again, a lot of
and they were driving too at that. when they ended the game. I mean, that was again.
Oh yeah,
they were kind of going through.
They were going
to cheese again.
They were going to score at the end of the game, but there was still a lot of time. I mean, there's over 10 minutes left. The Patriots might have gone down and scored again too, but. The slants I thought were a problem for both teams, but I thought the slants were a problem with Clifford in the game. It looked like he was every third down. Every third down, he was just finding someone to throw a slant to, and had no problems with it. Didn't like Gonzalez again tonight.
I liked his tackle on third down.
I thought that was
pretty good.
I would have liked it better if it was before the first down marker.
Well, it was.
No, it wasn't.
The third and 9.
Yeah,
Gonzalez tackle.
It was late. It was late in the game.
I don't know. I could have swore he had a
was it in the second half? Tackle in the second half. I'm not talking about anything in the second half because that's all the backups were in. The first half, he was abused. I think he was off coverage again. Some of it was zone. Some of it, I don't like his lack of physicality. He's not playing as well in the 2 games as he does every day in practice. I love him more in practice.
I think I'm going to disagree a little bit. I thought he was more physical tonight than he was last week. I thought the PI he got on, tough call, accurate call, but I thought that he showed pretty impressive makeup speed to get back into the guy in phase with the guy. I'm not totally disagreeing with it. He had a good game. I just think for me, he looked a little bit better this week than he looked.
I will say I agree with you on the PI. It was a penalty, but I didn't think it was a terrible play by him.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's a tough call.
A lot of guys are going to get caught and get toasted by that, and I just was like, wow, he at least was able to make up and make it competitive.
Well, he did get beat, but when the throw is short and the receiver has to come back and he goes through the defense, I don't really think it was terrible coverage. In other words, I thought that was the least of my problems. I know one of them was a zone that he gave up a catch on the side. It just, to me, when the balls were caught this might not have been his guy, So let me just state that maybe this was all zone and it wasn't all his fault. When he was the closest guy, I didn't like the way he had one that he go over and shouldered a guy when he was virtually out of bounds already, and of course we went crazy about it. But I just didn't like, his. Yeah, this is the PI, right? That's an unfortunate play. I agree with Mike on this. I think it's a penalty, but I don't think he got beat initially in the move, and then he found. Yeah, see how short the throw was.
It's the little.
He bumps him. He bumps him right here, when the ball's in the air, right there. Now, again, I'm with Mike. My league, those aren't penalties. No. Just like the one on the on Booty wasn't a penalty to me that they called at the end of the first half. Booty makes a double move, and the guy's standing there, and Booty runs over him. What's he supposed to do?
Yeah, right.
I didn't think either one of those are penalties, but in this league, those are penalties. I hate that.
I
hate them.
How about one that I think we can all agree on? Now, I don't know, and I wasn't watching him specifically and closely enough throughout the night, but the play specifically, Stuber after the fumble or strip sack, whatever it was.
No, he got beat badly.
He got beat, and then he looks at the ball on the ground, as Matt LePan said, in a moment of Cam Newton-like self-preservation, kind of looking at the ball now I'd like to give him the benefit of I'd like to give him the benefit of the doubt and think he thought it was an incomplete pass. There's no point in jumping on it. It's a preseason football game.
Watch Matt get pile drive. Did you see that? Did you catch that real time, Paul? 94 just.
But watch Stuber once the ball is on the ground. Ready? I don't know that you
can. Watch Mac. Ready?
Yeah. Oh, that's a little cheap.
Yeah.
I did not notice that. That's a little bit cheap.
Yeah, watch. He just.
Of course, it was. No, never mind. It was after about 7 other fights in this game.
But. In the wider angle shot, you can see Stuber kind of watching the ball, the first one that we saw, and it's oh, look at that! Yeah. Oh, isn't that interesting?
I totally agree with you, Party. I also I almost put that more.
Call me Party.
I think he
Party.
did.
Yeah. Party.
What's up, dude?
I almost put this one more on the Patriots because. You have no left tackles. Andrew Stuber was never a left tackle in college. He's playing left tackle. It's fine. He should have gotten the ball.
Are left tackles the only ones that are supposed to jump on loose balls?
I get it, but it's
no. I know you're talking about his reaction.
I'm talking about a guy who's I don't know. Is he definitely on the team?
No.
Okay.
No, but he might have to be because they have no other tackles.
Okay,
but he's not a lock. My one roster projection did not have.
If I wanted to play football, I think I'd be jumping on the loose ball.
Oh, here we go. We're getting the Mac pile drive one more time. Let's see it. Ready?
I think you're kind of overstating that. He looks like he reacted to the ball.
Yeah.
We're not getting a great.
And I didn't think Mac was feeling great when he got up. By the way.
No, listen, I thought he was hurt for a second.
In real time, it was noticeable. Watch it. Let's watch it again. Here we go.
Down.
He's looking at it.
He got up and immediately lunged to the ball.
I don't think it was as bad now that I've actually focused. The whole time I was watching Matt getting pile drived, and now I'm like, could he have just lunged at it? Maybe.
Yes.
I don't know if he would have gotten it.
Don't say that he lunged at the ball when he steps up and does the double hitch, and it's maybe I'm going to try and get myself over there to get on that football.
He just got beat bad, and he's like all discombobulated.
All the more reason to scamper over there on your hands and knees.
As soon as he realized the ball was on the ground, he reacted to it.
Oh, okay. Well, here,
watch.
Okay. There it is.
Oh, there's the ball. He got up on his feet and he immediately went for it.
I mean, he had no chance at it.
You're right. He's moving just as fast as all the other guys who actually made it to the ball.
Which, by the way,
what? You're right.
I have a question on that play.
I'm being too rough on him.
I have a question on this play. What constitutes defensive holding?
When you hold the guy past 2 yards of the scrimmage?
He rips him down. Watch when he comes around. If we can re-rack that, guys.
I love when we re-rack.
I don't. All I know is that
I just love throwing crap out. As he comes around the corner, 55. What's that? A Goomba? What's his name?
Yeah, you got it.
A Goomba Wale, something like that. I don't know.
Nailed it.
He watch him. Right. You see him? He rips him down by the shoulder.
Yeah.
Can that be holding?
Eh.
You guys don't see it, huh? Might be in a homer.
I'm sorry. Who am I looking at?
I don't know. There's
the guy who beats Stuber grabs him by the shoulder
and pulls him down. Okay,
pulls him down.
Gotcha.
Right there.
Oh yeah,
that's interesting.
Can that be? Is that legal or can that be holding? I'm asking.
I don't know.
Asking for a friend.
I mean, on one hand, I would say he was already kind of past.
No. He got beat. I'm not trying to defend Stuber. I'm asking if that's a penalty. That's all.
I thought you were saying offensive holding.
No.
I was
defensive holding.
I was looking at guys downfield.
Well, there's like 22 guys out there. It's so hard.
It's actually exactly how many are out there.
I'm sorry. I was talking about the guy who knocked the quarterback down.
Okay.
You may have noticed it when you weren't making fun of him for not recovering the fumble.
You know what? He made a heady play, and I salute him.
I didn't say that.
Put him on the good list.
I didn't say he made a heady play. Let's see. Why do you got to take it ridiculous? Tom Curran with a little pat in the back from Mac Jones. I'm not sure I like that.
I don't know. I was just watching Mac Jones get violated each time on that replay, but
that was unfortunate. Okay. How about?
I had 64 sack, by the way.
I had 64 sack.
How about beating on that 3rd and 9 for another sack?
I know. That's what's been going on. That's what's been going on. That's what's been going on.
You had it on the good list too?
No. I thought the pass protection right up until the last play, where Stuber gets beat bad, was pretty good.
Yeah.
I thought even on that sack that So allowed, I thought it was a coverage sack. I thought Mac had time. So gets beat. You can see him. He's on. Yeah. He gets bull rushed there. But I thought he had time to step, bank, throw, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
This wasn't the same as the strip sack. In other words, I mean, the strip sack was immediate.
And Riley Reif is also getting just walked right back into Mac too. But yeah.
And I thought Mac did a good job otherwise of sort of navigating the pocket, moving up, internal clock. The play that he ran near the goal line on 2nd and goal when he slid. Oh, by the way, did you see him looking for a flag on that? As much as I say I liked the way he looked tonight, he had to throw one of those in there.
Is it Eric who's queuing up the videos and having them ready to go here at a moment's notice? Chris, great job again this week. Unbelievable. Well done. Everything we're talking about there, and it's just boom, it's right up there. It's almost like a real show.
Zappy not afraid to throw the ball into coverage.
No. 3, 4, 5 guys.
Is that good or bad?
I don't think it's a great thing. But he did make some good plays. I mean, the play that the little dump off at the end of the first half when he was under a lot of pressure, he was kind of scrambling around. He found J.J. Taylor. It's a good play.
Do we have other specific bads we want to get to? Obviously, the only injury that we're going to be talking about is Isaiah Bolden, and the Patriots have released his statement saying he had feeling on all his extremities and that he was taken to a local hospital to be checked out. So I'm taking that as good news right now. Trey Nixon
looked like that was significant.
Yeah, that was also looked like we were afraid it was like
I think it
broken
is.
arm or broken.
I think it is.
You think so?
Broke his humerus.
Yeah, I think that's what it looked like to me live. And they had made an announcement again in the truck that it was a shoulder injury. They're calling it, but
the guy just lands right on his arm as it's out.
You can see it, and it looks like
it's either popping out or breaking.
I don't want to make anybody queasy, but right there it looks like it turned in a way it's not supposed to.
Yeah.
And then he immediately grabs. You see, he grabs here
he grabs
on the arm.
Right.
He doesn't grab his shoulder, and that's not an easy bone to break.
Yeah.
I played in high school with a kid who broke that bone. It's not pretty.
No.
The humerus.
Well, let's.
It's not funny.
Not funny at all.
And again, we don't know, and that's also kind of the problem with watching some of these things in replay. I bet you could zoom in on any number of contacts, whether it's on the line or after a tackle, and think like, oh my God, how are you gonna recover from that? There's all kinds of things that look bad. That one looks bad, even in context of everything else that's going on, just the way it kind of bends. But he wasn't announced with anything other than a shoulder, so we don't know. Yeah. We'll just hope that.
I'll throw one more at you.
Oh, you got another bad?
Another bad?
I'm just gonna say Sean Wade on the crosser on the TD.
Yeah, and I thought that he had been making some strides,
and that's more why, because otherwise I would have just been kind of like, but he had a good couple of days, and it's just kind of one of those inopportune times that he allowed it.
Deuce, when you were gone, I had a Sean Wade theory that maybe I'm thinking twice about now. So, if Jack Jones is part of the equation, it's Jack Jones and Gonzalez. And by the way, that was another positive element tonight, was those two guys starting.
Yep.
I liked that. But if he can't play, and if you need someone else on the outside, might Sean Wade's performance the last couple of days, week plus, I think he's been around the ball a lot this camp. Wouldn't he be a better option on the outside than Miles Bryant?
I think so. I mean, honestly,
or Marcus Jones. Marcus Jones got a lot of snaps on the outside in Green Bay.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I would have been, saying Isaiah Bolden. I think before he unfortunately got hurt, he was, getting picked on a little bit. But Wade, Bolden, one of those guys, they might need one of those guys.
Yeah. So just something to keep in mind. I think Wade's size might be more attractive than
it might be
Miles
right
Bryant.
Tackle. You just might not have a choice. You just have to play somebody there and hope that they get it, or that somebody else is. Maybe
obviously best case is if you could get Jones, and Gonzalez, those three guys, and then you have Marcus Jones and whoever else you want. If it's Bryant, if it's Wade, whoever.
Yeah.
But my take development was that Wade could get a job over Bryant, because they don't really need Bryant as a punt returner or anything like that. They have some depth at that spot, although, like you said, you're losing a little of the return depth of Bolden's injury tonight, and it's hard. Those roster spots are going to be tough to predict.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on here. We'll start taking some of your phone calls here at 855-PATS-500. You can also email webradio@patriots.com. But we will begin with Colleen, who is in Houston. Colleen, thanks for your patience. Welcome into the Patriots Postgame Show. Hi. Colleen.
Hardy's off to a good start.
This is not my fault. Colleen going once.
Office.
Colleen going twice. Colleen is not there. All right.
Oh,
that's not. Listen, that was a sound effect added by Matt Morrell. That was not me. Jake in Australia will be there. He's literally on the other side of the world, and he's there. Hi, Jake.
I thought I was about to get hardied.
There we go.
Thank you.
So, unfortunate ending to the game.
Yep.
Oop, you there?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're here.
Yeah, unfortunate ending. But one thing I really didn't like was how Zappi set Nixon up to fail. That hurt to watch that play.
Set Nixon up to fail?
What do you mean? Just by putting the ball up and kind of get him tangled up with a few guys?
Yeah, he didn't take a hit.
1 man against 3 was never a good option.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't think Paul agrees with you. All right, go ahead. But all right, Jake. Hopefully you have another point.
I mean, I will say that, and I made the comment earlier, Zappi had no trouble throwing the ball into coverage tonight. I don't think he set him up to get hit there. It was a ball on the sideline.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call that
he got tangled. I think that was unfortunate. Yeah, he was just tangled up and landed funny.
Came down on him.
And then our boy Cunningham.
There are 3 guys around him. Yeah, Jake, I see your point a little bit more as I'm watching the replay. There are 3 guys right around him, surrounding him.
Yeah, that is triple coverage. Yeah, he did treat him like he was Calvin Johnson there for a second. That's
true.
Yeah, that's not necessary and probably not going to. This is the thing. When you're watching Zappi in these games, you're watching a guy who is probably trying a little bit of everything to get something to click, get something to work, get something to pop.
Make up the difference.
Right. Because
that's what he looked like tonight.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
I'm not taking the check down. I'm throwing it into coverage trying to make a play.
What's that about the play to Booty? What now?
So, yeah, he does the 1-2 Nixon, and then all of a sudden, a couple of plays later, he throws a dime to Booty, who takes it to the end zone.
Right. You know what? And, Jake, thanks for the call, buddy. I appreciate you.
Good day.
Was the Booty play the one that I remarked to you when we were watching the game, Deuce? I said, that's the type of play if you're watching it from the other side. I think it was earlier in the game, actually. But there were a couple of plays, a couple of Patriots completions tonight where I say, you know, we look at that and we're like, all right, nicely done. When you flip the script and you watch it from a Packers perspective, all you see on that one is a blown coverage. Just an absolute breakdown in who's supposed to be where. And it's instructive only in that you got to take these things, you know, as they truly are. And we're gonna look at the bright side whenever we can, and we're gonna try and you know find the positive outcome. But if it's the one I'm thinking of, I think it was like as much a breakdown in coverage as it was, and I can't remember if it was the completion to Booty or not. It may have been an much earlier play in the game when Mac Jones was still in.
They definitely had trouble with the slants.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, they had trouble with them all night. And the ones that weren't complete were generally because the throw was off.
That's not the one.
You know what that play
the one that
reminded
he's
me
referenced?
of?
No, that is just a dime, and that's a great reception from Booty.
Well, it's an excellent throw and catch, but that safety's way out of position.
The safety's out of position. What do you want?
Right.
You know,
it reminded me of the Miami fourth down play last year on opening day to Jalen Waddle.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I remember that. Gone.
Yeah.
Right up the middle.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I know.
Yeah, whereas it's a catch, and it should be a catch and a first down because
safety can't
because the offense executed the play properly, but it can't be a touchdown.
Right.
Yeah.
It should stop there.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
that's a good callback from the steel trap over there.
It's uncanny.
Pull those out. I know and that's what's so hard is like, you know, I think everybody, you look at your team, you're like, all right, well, were they in off coverage and, you know, they were just in a little slant. That's hard to defend but to Paul's point, the tackle, I would say though too with the Bourne, those are, you know, some RPO stuff too, which is, you know, encouraging to see that first Bourne catch that was a
look forward to a week of that next week.
How about Spee in Fresno? What's going on, Spee?
Greetings, gentlemen. Agree with like every point. I thought Jake from State Farm, Australia, was right off the bat with the triple coverage. I thought
it was triple coverage, absolutely.
Yeah,
but I don't think that had anything to do with the injury. It wasn't a hospital ball.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, probably. I don't think it was a hospital ball either. Yeah,
but it was a bad decision by Zappi.
Yeah. I thought I'm trying to look on the bright side with Mac because I'm kind of maybe negatively biased against the guy. Maybe it's unfair. He seemed hit or miss. Like in the first quarter,
I would agree with that.
I think there was a pass downfield where
Parker
he missed Henry. I thought Henry was open.
Yep.
He didn't throw it to Henry, right? He threw it to the outside.
He
had Henry.
Yeah.
Is that the one?
Yeah,
Speed?
up the seam.
Yeah, I agree with you. He missed him, and I thought he overthrew Parker. I thought he had a chance to make a play, although Parker could have made a better play on the ball than that.
It's close.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about the Parker thing because that one was a case where Parker's just not fast enough. Like if Parker's not a contested catch guy, but he's a little bit faster, then that's a very catchable ball. But maybe he's just not the right receiver for that pass. But maybe that's the wrong way to look at it. I also like that.
I get your point.
Yeah, I like Pop Douglas for what he maybe can be for, like his Binky potential is high.
Okay.
Binky, I like that.
It's Pop Douglas, him being like without Jacoby Myers, giving Max something that's reliable in short yardage situations that can make him more comfortable, give him a little security blanket.
You know what, Spee? I'm going to use that if you don't mind. I'll give you credit whenever I can. But Binky potential. That's good. I like it.
Paul's big on Binky potential.
All right.
Is that something that gets used a lot around here?
See, no. On this one we're showing right here, which is I know it went for 2 yards. There's nothing to write home about.
God, we must have shown this play 16
But just
times
the fact that, look, there's two guys stop, boom. That's just a little glimpse of what he can do. He's just got good ability.
Turn that 2-yard loss into a 2-yard gain, man. I'll tell you.
Paul, I'm trying to make a point here.
I like the other play.
He looked quick.
I can watch the other play all night.
He can stop on a dime and make people miss. That's
I don't see the game as well as you guys see it.
No, I know.
I
don't.
I did think it was
that adjustment to the pass right there. I like this play.
Okay.
I like this adjustment.
This one I can see, and this one I get. The Douglas play we were watching beforehand, the 2-yard loss and did the 2-yard gain. After we watched it 3 times on the broadcast, and I saw a lot of people,
boop, boop, and he accelerates.
And then I saw like 19 people mention it on Twitter.
Oh my
Someone
God.
else in the room said, "Wow!"
There's literally one guy there who overruns them.
I'm like,
maybe got blocked in the back on second thought.
I don't see it to that extent.
Well, this is what I would compare it to. When a guy gets hit in the backfield and he still makes it back to the line of scrimmage. All right, that's nothing great about it. But those are the little plays that just show some traits.
But the difference is
his quickness he can get. I'm not saying that the play itself. I'm just showing the traits that he demonstrates there. They translate well.
I love your comp. The difference is no one talks about the guy who made the guy miss in the backfield to get back to the line of scrimmage 10 minutes after the play.
We're actually 3 hours after the play right now. We've seen it 5 times.
And I'm not making fun of you. We showed that play
did you?
numerous times.
Oh, no, I didn't know. I thought I was alone of being like, well, he looked a little quick there at least. But no, I like Douglas.
I liked that. Like I
nice
said, I really liked his adjustment on that first play.
Was that it? Just did those 2 catches? Was that it?
Yeah, I was a little disappointed that he didn't get more run. I wonder if they're trying to keep him under wraps, but I would think they need, if you're going to have Binky potential, you need to get reps with him.
Yeah, so you can earn trust like on those kind of plays where it's, bang, bang, got to sit down in his zone. Yep.
Oh, well.
We're not
going to talk about it anymore. I don't know. Oh, we are? All right, good.
What?
Well, yeah, we're going to. Okay. Well, while we, how about if we kill 2 seconds by talking to you about the Massachusetts Office of Travel and Tourism, because great memories are made in Massachusetts, no matter how you choose to make them, indoors, outdoors, scenic views, city vibes, solo or family style, whatever moves you, whatever the season, plan your perfect Massachusetts getaway at visitma.com.
Get in on the action with DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the New England Patriots. New customers can download the DraftKings app now and play free for millions in prizes using code PATS. That's code PATS, only at DraftKings. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like My Plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get My Plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get My Plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
TouchView Interactive from the Yokers Company offers New England's leading schools and businesses technologically advanced and easy-to-use interactive displays, providing enhanced collaboration and improved student outcomes in the classroom, and an easy way to foster communication and teamwork in any business environment. Available in multiple sizes, TouchView also offers a built-in VC, allowing for easy use through video conference systems. For more information, visit okers.com.
This is the Gillette Labs with exfoliating bar. The bar and the handle removes unseen dirt and debris ahead of the blades for effortless shaving in one efficient stroke.
$1 million? For picking players? That's a lot of money, DraftKings. You know how many jokes I got to tell to make $1 million? Probably like a half of one.
Take a free shot at $1 million with DraftKings, the leader in daily fantasy sports.
We exist to keep your body and mind moving.
It's never too late to rise.
Because everybody is a Therabody.
Touchview Interactive from the Yokers Company offers New England's leading schools and businesses technologically advanced and easy-to-use interactive displays, providing enhanced collaboration and improved student outcomes in the classroom, and an easy way to foster communication and teamwork in any business environment. Available in multiple sizes, Touchview also offers a built-in PC, allowing for easy use through video conference systems. For more information, visit okers.com.
This is the Gillette Labs with exfoliating bar. The bar and the handle removes unseen dirt and debris ahead of the blades for effortless shaving in one efficient stroke.
$1 million? For picking players? That's a lot of money, DraftKings. You know how many jokes I got to tell to make $1 million? Probably like a half a one.
Take a free shot at $1 million with DraftKings, the leader in daily fantasy sports.
We exist to keep your body and mind moving.
It's never too late to rise.
Because everybody is a Therabody.
Get in on the action with DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the New England Patriots. New customers can download the DraftKings app now and play free for millions in prizes using code PATS. That's code PATS, only at DraftKings. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like my plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get my plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get my plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
Join the conversation by calling the Ace Ticket hotline at 855-PATS-500 or email the show at webradio@patriots.com.
What's like? Is this okay? Like, are your bosses gonna be like, "What were you doing
when you're a jet
crossing the streams"?
I think my bosses are okay with it.
Oh, he put his big ratings balls on the table.
No threat. No threat there.
Live from our studios inside Gillette Stadium, here's Hardy.
That was when Andy joined us last week, but not this week.
Not this week. This would not be a show for Andy.
Yeah, no. You've had tastes in the past of what it's like doing one of these shows with Andy Hart.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. No, he's intense, especially when he's on C4.
He's a lot. He's a lot.
C4 spokesman now, I guess.
Yeah,
apparently.
I've been trying to get him to slide me a case.
How's that working out?
Yeah. Product hasn't been shipped.
The update from the Patriots on Bolden, on Isaiah Bolden, who is the reason why the game was called with 10 minutes, 29 seconds left in the fourth quarter after he sustained an injury on the field. The team released a brief statement saying that he had feelings in all of his extremities. And this is, again, these things are carefully worded at the time. He said, feeling in all his extremities, but has been taken to a local hospital for further tests and observation. I don't mean to read into this, too much, but the word "but" in there has me thinking that's actually positive.
He's okay.
He's okay. He was doing okay, but they still wanted to take him to the hospital.
We're taking him to the hospital, so that is. Yeah. I'm taking that as positive right now. And
hopefully, that's the way it is.
That's the important thing here tonight as we go through this Patriots postgame show and talking about the what we did see on the field there in Green Bay tonight. The final score is not really a final score because they didn't play the entire game, but it was 21-17 Patriots. So we'll continue. Yeah, you got the over.
Oh, geez, I didn't even think about the freaking over-unders.
I think those get washed this week. It wasn't a
5-1 for Paul.
Oh. No, I don't.
4-2 for Mike.
I don't think we count any of them.
3-3 for Hardy.
Well, I mean, who's to say the sack numbers wouldn't have gone up?
Okay, well that is true. That is true.
Who's to say Malik Cunningham wouldn't have? So actually, I have that.
If you want to change it, you can go 1-1 the other way.
Never mind.
Because you were the only one that got the snaps right.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, maybe can I throw this Gonzalez play to the guys in the truck, see if they can pull it up, see if you're
yeah,
if you're
Mike,
moved at all by
I'm glad that you said that.
Are they
Mike,
in a truck?
I don't know. I'm trying to speak the lingo.
No, they're down in KSP.
I'm trying to say racket.
Yeah, there's no truck.
Yeah, hey, re-rack it.
Re-rack it in the truck, guys.
I'll teach you.
Now they're just yelling.
So Mike has
yelling
informed me. I
asked
Mike about that play because I really didn't remember it. And now I feel like I'm being a little too hard on Gonzalez because that play happened in the second quarter.
Yeah, second quarter with
so that's
3:46 left. Play ID is 1888 if you have that.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So I don't know if the guys can dig it up. 3rd and 9.
Play
3:46.
What did you just say? Play ID.
Well, it's on the Jesus. The Jesus.
I don't think they use that.
I don't know. It says PID. I assumed it said play ID. Maybe
they got their own system.
I don't know. Maybe our guys got their PID. Maybe that's play ID. Perhaps I don't know.
I need to see
it. It says PID, quarter, situation, play description.
No, it's the
You're the one who's always using the Jesus.
It's the word PID.
Oh, the play ID.
See, all right, here we go. And then I'm like, uh-oh, he's going to get this one and just...
Oh, okay. That's a good tackle.
Good tackle,
I don't remember that play. And I wondered, I asked Deuce, I was like,
thanks, guys.
By any chance, was I talking at the time? Because if I'm actually doing one of my hits...
Yeah, you got to focus.
I'm not always... I can't look at the monitor if I'm on camera. And, God knows why wouldn't you want me on camera?
Yeah. You got your Pierre Strong thing in, too.
I did. Went the long way to Grandma's house on that one.
I got another question for you, Paul.
Sometimes I'm talking and I just say, just stop. Land the plane.
Oh, I hate that. Any thoughts on Kevin Harris tonight? Just curious what your...
Pedestrian.
Yeah.
I thought there were a couple of plays that he had that there was yards to be made.
He kind of runs hard, but he goes down quick.
He had a lot of touches.
Yeah.
A lot of touches?
That's why I was looking at it.
I was looking at it. He carried the ball 10 times, 31 yards, 10 carries, 31 yards.
And I thought it was a little better in the second half, but not much.
Yeah, it seemed like he'd get a head of steam going, and I thought he'd blast somebody, run over somebody, and it just he couldn't seem to kind of.
This was the stretch where I thought he was okay. Where he had he moved the chains on the third. He moved but he moved the chains on a good 3-yard run. He dragged a tackle there for an extra couple of. But then there's one run coming. This is the one. There's more yards there for that play.
Yeah. Little elusiveness.
I thought maybe even on that one too.
Yeah.
And I just brought up the point during the broadcast that I was kind of interested to see how he'd respond.
Yeah.
He probably felt like he had an opportunity. I would have liked to have seen him. Be a little more productive.
Watching this game today, he's a big guy. He's a thick guy, but there's just not a lot of pop really that I'm seeing. But
let's get to some of these emails here. webradio@patriots.com. Todd in Garner said, very sad game outcome. One takeaway is that our line play is seriously icky on both sides of the ball. I know it's preseason, but I hope they find a way to shore it up. Felt that Bolden was coming on, and I really hoping that he is okay for his and his family's sake. Again, that's from Todd.
For sure. Nothing we haven't really seen. I thought it was interesting that even yesterday, Adrian Clem, when he spoke, was like, we just haven't been able to have any continuity. We've been trying to scramble and get guys in, and at a certain point, there's just no more excuses. The season's going to start, and you got to roll with what you have. But I think as Paul kind of touched on in the pregame, you're just hoping you can get them when you and Strange, and just at least get the guys that you wanted there in the middle for 4/5 of it, and then just figure it out at right tackle. I don't think that that's the worst position in the world to just try to have to figure it out at. But you saw today how quickly it can change a game, with a blown – all it takes is one blown block.
It's a really good point because I thought offensively they were probably feeling decent about themselves until that strip sack.
Yeah.
Yeah. Prayers for Isaiah Bolden is from Daniel, formerly from Eugene. He said, on a football note, though, is it possible they're trying to do too much with Malik Cunningham, kick returner, inside and outside receiver, possible special teams gunner, potentially quarterback alternate? How can a rookie handle such a large transition? Does it possibly take away from his effectiveness in any one singular role? Even Taysom Hill had essentially a redshirt year before playing any role on the team in 2017.
Well, what did we see him do tonight? It felt like tonight was we got to see if we can get him going as a receiver a little bit, right?
Yeah, can I want to you guys can tell me. I might have to. Wasn't Taysom Hill initially a special teams guy?
Well, and I also don't know what Taysom Hill did in preseason games. Maybe they had him all over the place too.
My pushback would be where Mike is going with this. Like I, based on what I saw tonight, I would take quarterback and put it on the back burner a little bit. It looks like they're trying to make him a receiver / special teams guy, and that's his road to the roster.
I think it's good that they're trying him out in a few different places to see, okay, where is he going to fit? Because we think he's, as we know, Bill loves, he's a football player. He can play the game. We're just not sure exactly where and how we can utilize him. So
I mean, we've watched, 15, 16 practices. I haven't seen anything out of him as a receiver. I mean, he looks nice when he, does a little QB draw or read option or something and he's running. But, he had everybody talks about the one-handed booty catch, and then Andy came in here coming hot about what a terrible throw it was. So, I understand why everyone wants the Cunningham thing to happen and, to have that element, a new, exciting, dynamic guy to play with up front. But I don't know what you saw tonight. He didn't look comfortable to me as a receiver. It looked a little bit kind of lost and,
Yeah, I would agree. I just hope that if they're going to keep him, I hope that they continue to try to develop him as a quarterback.
Yeah.
That's all. If they've decided, you know what, this is too much of a project, we don't have time for this, then I'm fine with that too. But if they're going to keep him around and they want him to do it, like I kind of agree with the email, because if you're going to try to keep him around to be a special teamer or a wide receiver, put him on the practice squad and let him develop and be a quarterback.
Yeah, right. That's what we thought anyway.
Now, the pushback is that you don't think you can get him on the practice squad. Well, if you don't, you don't. Like I'm with you. I'm not overly interested in the slash player. If he could be a quarterback, I'm interested in that.
Yeah.
If he can.
I wouldn't really have too much worry about getting him onto the practice squad.
Nathan Shower, PhD, says, "Hi all. I know the topic of commercial breaks has come up on the show in the past. Is Hardy aware that Fred has now decided that the breaks on Patriots Unfiltered are so long that he has Matt recording a whole second show to fill the time? I would love to hear Hardy's
Just
take
so you
on
know,
this.
I don't think Fred was overly interested in that. I think Fred was the last to know. What are we doing? What is this?
So what? I don't know what this is about.
So on Thursday we debuted. Mike, you probably don't even know this because you were gone. We usually, as you like to make fun of us, Fred and I eat our lunch in the middle of Patriots Unfiltered during the week.
Which is
we take about an 8-minute break.
And Patriots
and you say
Unfiltered,
that's absurd.
Well, how long is Patriots Unfiltered?
2 hours.
2 hours.
2 whole hours.
So
it's an hour and 52 minutes.
And most people in America have a 2-hour workday, and they take a lunch break in the middle of their workday that is 2 hours long. So
whoa.
That's a 2-hour show we do in the middle of an 8-hour workday.
How about if you take your lunch on either side of that 2-hour show?
Well, I'm not eating lunch at 11:30, and by the time 2:30 rolls around, I'm not really all that interested.
Well,
I can wait for dinner at that point.
Honestly.
But anyway,
do you need to?
So
Please,
Fred
continue.
decided that. Well, he didn't decide it. Other people decided that we needed to fill that break because we didn't want to run the commercials and repeat them.
So what do we do?
So Matisse hosted a little Matisse and Friends podcast.
Matisse Hour.
With Dylan and Faith, and they discussed what was the topic?
Unpopular
hot takes.
And that was what filled the time.
So you know, re-racking the commercials was received better based on the Twitter following. I did not listen to it.
I just want to say that
so
everybody under 35 actually enjoyed it, and all you old people hated it.
I didn't hear it, so don't tell me I didn't like it.
People complaining, oh, you offended me because you talked crap about Facebook, and I use Facebook.
No one likes Facebook. Even people who do use Facebook don't like it.
I am an old, by your definition right there.
I'm
and I
definitely
love the idea of the show within the show, filling that unbelievably long lunch break in the middle of a 2-hour show. And again, I get it. You must be famished after doing
Well, you know why I didn't hear it, right?
What's that?
You know why I didn't hear it on Thursday?
Because you were eating?
Because I was eating.
You're too busy eating. Yes.
I was wolfing down buffalo tenders.
What are they?
That's unbelievable.
It was just the first time, too. The pilot's getting a lot of crap.
I didn't hear it. Why are you getting all... Was this your idea? Are you getting a little defensive over there?
It actually was not my idea, but I enjoyed it. I sat here and enjoyed it.
I don't have anything critical to say about it.
Like they don't like Star Wars upstairs.
Oh.
I don't like Star Wars.
I'm
not a big Star Wars guy.
And listen,
even though I'm an old.
Listen to Thursday's Patriots Unfiltered just to listen to that show and skip the first hour.
I think I would appreciate that, Hardy.
And the second hour.
Get some feedback on it.
Matisse is going to start giving away Patriots Unfiltered shirts. Another reason to listen.
Oh, my God. That's going to be fantastic.
Oh. You know another reason Thursday.
You're going to make him, actually issue them so they can get them? Oh,
just
yeah.
shots at Matt all around over here.
Oh, yeah. I heard that story.
The other reason to listen to Thursday's show is going to be, I don't know if Fred's going to be there, but I'm coming in hot off of a nighttime flight.
Oh, yeah. Fred's probably going to have to leave.
So it might be Punchy Deuce hosting. And, usually I drop some F-bombs on that. I'll try not to.
Well, you just drop F-bombs all the time. Like, you don't even mean it. That's the funny part about it.
It's you know what I realized?
The baby-faced assassin.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
When people ask a question that I either haven't thought really of an answer or I don't know or I don't really care to, I give the F-bomb sigh, like fudge.
Yeah.
And I don't even realize I'm doing it. I didn't realize I was doing it.
And he thinks when you say it directly into the mic, they might not hear it.
Right.
Oh,
but
fudge.
But we would call that a fleeting expletive, right? You're not saying it gratuitously.
No.
You're not celebrating
it. It's not like when I screamed, "I can't wait till week effing 16" once. That was a gratuitous.
Wow, you must have been
F-bomb.
ballistic on that one.
Well, who do you think was on the show with
Andy?
me? Nope.
No.
Who's the only person that could get me in that state?
I don't want to say.
Brian Morey.
Oh, all right.
Oh, wow.
Those are the two. Those are the two. Drive Paul over the edge.
All right, let's do this. Let's hear from Bill Belichick. Very short, obviously. When you consider what was going on at the end of the game, the game ended with 10:29 left due to the injury sustained by Isaiah Bolden. The team has released a statement. I don't know if Bill references it here, but Bill is brought to you by our partner, Microsoft Surface, the official sideline technology provider and laptop of the NFL and the New England Patriots, that provides players and coaches with the tools to succeed both on and off the field. Check out the powerful Surface Pro 9, combining the power of a laptop with the flexibility of a tablet at surface.com. Here's the head coach.
All right, well, I think the last situation kind of, in the bigger picture overrode the game. So, all saying a prayer for Isaiah. And, we just released a statement on that, right? So that's, only information, that's the updated information that we have. Appreciate the way the league handled it. I think that was the right thing to do. And, also saying a prayer for some of our players with their close friends and relatives in Hawaii that are going through some stuff out there. So, that's really the bigger picture of it here. Kind of regroup and talk about the game later, but that's kind of where things are for right now. So, competitive game, competitive week, good week against Green Bay. Just unfortunate what happened there at the end. Hopefully, say it'll be all right. And so that's really about all I got.
How scary moment was that on the field, and what led to the decision to just suspend the game?
Yeah, that's the league decision.
What were your conversations like with Coach?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Something like this, Coach, puts everything in perspective, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah. We're all very fortunate.
Mm-hmm.
All very fortunate.
Coach, in your long career, you've obviously never experienced anything quite like this.
Oh, yeah. I have.
Bill, how good of a kid is Bolden, 23 years old, out of Jackson State, Florida State? Obviously, his family very concerned.
We're keeping our fingers crossed. Okay.
All right, Bill.
Great. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, so there's the head coach, obviously, and he said, just about the game. We'll get to that later. And he said it was good week with the joints, but and also mentioned something that had been brought up a couple of times earlier this week. Players with their connections to what's going on in Maui and in Lahaina. So he brought that up too, but he referenced the statement again from the team, which came out just a few moments before he went to the podium, which said that Isaiah Bolden did have feeling in his extremities, but he was being taken to a local hospital for more testing and for some more evaluation. So we'll take that as good news right now, but not a lot from the coach there. I don't know what else you would have asked or done in that circumstance. I guess maybe Coach Belichick at that point was not going to talk anymore about the injury, I don't think.
No, and I was, obviously it was predictably somber, right, in brief. But I think he basically told you that, the statement, that's all we really know.
Yeah.
So I think I would have felt comfortable if I were there to ask. I said, listen, obviously, Bolden's, health is first and foremost, but can you give your impressions of the game, of Mac Jones or whatever, like some superficial kind of team performance question. And then if he didn't want to answer, and if he answered with something like, I don't think this is the appropriate time, we'll get to that tomorrow, because he does have a conference call slated for tomorrow, then you stop. To ask any questions about Bolden, to me, doesn't make any sense.
Right. And also, again, you're trying to, be mindful of the situation. And the question was asked whether or not he had anything like this in his career. Bill talked about that kind of extensively last year after Damar Hamlin. And he talked about some of the situations I think that he had encountered over the years. There was one on the field, a very scary incident in the game against the Lions, which was, really tenuous.
Yeah, now that was weird. I remember that one.
Was that Dennis Byrd?
No, against us here. Like it was. Remember the guy just collapsed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was. I myself, we talk about, wow, this is unprecedented. Like, it's not unprecedented. It's something that happens, and no one is saying that they shouldn't have stopped the game with Damar Hamlin or they shouldn't have stopped the game tonight. But to act like it's the first time it's ever happened, no. Unfortunately, this is something that has happened. As a matter of fact, before Damar Hamlin last year, it happened here in Foxborough, and the thing that I had never seen, and maybe this is more commonplace and we just don't see it because it's not televised, somebody from the staff going over to the stands and getting a member of the player's family from the Lions, bringing them down onto the field, having them walk off the field with the ambulance and get into the ambulance and go with them to the hospital. To me, that is that's jaw-dropping.
Yeah.
And that's something that apparently does happen from time to time. So, yeah, if you're going to ask Bill Belichick, have you ever seen anything like this in your career? To me, Bill is well within his right to almost be a little annoyed at that. Like, yeah, I have. You have unless this is your first, season covering the NFL. Yes, unfortunately, this is something we've all seen.
How much do you think the NFL's decision to end the game was kind of related to what happened to Damar Hamlin? Like, like that fresh on the mind? Like, I don't ever remember a game being suspended after an injury like this. I just wonder if that was.
You feel like the precedent was set. Now it was easier to do that.
Well, not even necessarily the precedent of just. I guess my thought was that it's just so fresh on everybody's mind that this is kind of re-triggering all those memories, and it's like we're in a preseason game right now.
Could be.
I just wonder if that came into account.
Yeah, I think
of
that's
course,
a
it's a
point.
preseason game and nobody cares.
I think,
and I have seen preseason games halted.
Yeah,
but not for injury,
sure.
like you
lightning.
said. Yeah, weather related stuff.
No, but I think look, we're talking about it only in that we all agree that that was the right thing to do tonight. I don't think anybody disagrees with that.
Not at all.
If this were a regular season game, what would they have done?
I think they would have kept playing.
I think they probably would have taken as much time as they needed to get a real update on his status and find out what was going on. And I think they probably would have continued playing the game.
I mean, if you remember, the Hamlin situation was like over a half hour.
Yeah.
On the field.
And everyone knew
it was like an hour.
Not to say that this wasn't
serious. No, this is serious.
But that was
heart
stopped, CPR.
Hopefully this ends, obviously without saying, like with a good story, a happy ending. But the Hamlin thing to me was far different in terms of the uncertainty as to what exactly was going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would say just the look on the players' faces, that that to me was a little bit reminiscent of that, and I think that's kind of where I went of how do they play a game when the memories of that is still so fresh.
Last year, it was October 9th. The Lions player was Savion Smith.
Yeah,
and he was on the ground.
Yeah, I remember.
Motionless.
What you're talking about with the family is.
Yeah,
I remember
the family coming onto the field. Ambulance out on the field, not carted off on any kind of a team equipment. I mean, that was as serious as something that I've witnessed in person, and they continued that game. So I think a regular season game they probably would have continued. Tonight, I think a couple of things come into play. One of them, absolutely, Damar Hamlin, still very fresh. Number two, it's a preseason game, so we don't have to finish this thing. And number three, I think it probably starts to factor in, do we want anyone else to get hurt? Even if it's a groin, even if it's a hamstring. We're playing preseason here. Can we just stop this now?
Yeah, you just had 2 hour and, how long was it? 2 hours?
2 hours and 27
minutes.
And that was a long game tonight.
You've had so much work. It's like, what more do you need? But, of course, the regular season game, the Packers are like, hey, we're driving here to tie the game. We can't end it right now.
Yeah. We also have Mac Jones and his post-game press conference. As I understand, had some very interesting things to say about Matthew Slater, who played a part in that. We saw the conference taking place on the sideline while Bolden was being attended to with Bill Belichick and one of the officials, and so Mac has asked about that and other things. So let's listen to the quarterback.
How's the team doing? How are you doing?
Yeah, we're doing all right. I think that was definitely tough to see, Zay go down like that, and just hard to kind of like realize the whole situation, and we're all together, and I think Slater did a great job explaining it to the team, just how, you can't take anything for granted. Just want to be there for one another, want to be there for him, his family. I've known him since high school. We played 7-on-7 football together, so definitely one of my brothers, but sounds like he's doing a lot better, from what they're telling us, so that's awesome.
Can you tell people what type of player and what type of person Isaiah is?
Yeah, I think, like I said, I'm very fortunate to have played with him in 7-on-7 football when I was, a high schooler, just a young guy, and he's just a physical, tough football player, and just hope that he's okay. I know he's going to do whatever he can to be back, and he's done a great job, coming in this year and just trying to play, really tough defense, and he's done a great job, and yeah, just tough knowing that I've known him for so long and knowing that he's just this ultimate competitor.
Does it seem as if the league, kind of shows that it's developing a heightened awareness to the emotions of you guys in these games? And
yeah, I think it was probably the right move to do that, and just everything revolves around him and how his family's doing and all that stuff. So definitely feel like we weren't in a good headspace. Nobody was on either side of the ball. So obviously that's above all of our pay grade, but we did decide, and Slater and coach and everybody and the other team just thought it was probably better just to, hang it up for the night and just try and, come together really as a team, and really just think about him and his family.
This team has to go to Nashville.
What do you say?
You have to go to Nashville.
Yeah.
How do you, as a quarterback, keep everybody up?
Yeah, I think hopefully it'll just continue to be positive with the updates that we get, and honestly just continue to come together as a team. I think we've done that this week during the practices, and I feel like there was a little bit of camaraderie and things like that. And I think that we just need to try to carry that over and let these tough times just keep building us up. And obviously hope that Zay is okay and we get positive updates, and just trying to keep plugging along as best we can, but definitely tough.
After all of that happened, both teams, and the decision was made, everyone kind of came together at the end, and both teams. Can you just talk about what that was like?
Yeah, I think it's important, just as people, right, beyond the game of football, just understand that we all love each other, and we're out here doing something that lots of people would love to do, you know, and to see somebody, you know, especially your teammate and friend on the ground and just not doing well, it's hard, right? But I think everybody on that field realized that this game is very big, but there's other things that are also very important, and that's the game of life. And I think both teams, you know, realize that, and I don't think either of us are going to take anything for granted.
Matthew Slater said that he's never been more proud of his coach after deciding to stop that.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that too?
Yeah, I think Coach Belichick just really did a good job there talking with Slater and the leadership of our team, and obviously handled the situation, and him and Slater did a great job in the locker room just talking to the team, and like he always does, he's a great, he tries to bring us together, you know, and it's all real emotion, and we really appreciate him and Slater and all those leaders on our team that can just kind of bring us together during a tough time. So I thought that was smart.
How does it affect you, and how scary is it when you see the stretcher come out?
Yeah, I think it's tough, right? It's not something you want to see every day, but all you can do is just pray and hope that, you know, whoever's hurt in the situation, Zay, that everything's okay. And you think about, for me, I think about my family, right? Some guys think about their kids or whatnot, and that's a tough thing. So definitely just try to pray and realize that, you know, freak accidents happen, but it's tough to sit there and just act like everything's okay too, you know. So definitely we're going to continue to pray, and that's what we did on the field with Slater too. I thought that was great to do that and come together and just pray.
Comfortable fielding last question, a football question?
I'll probably pass on the football. Yeah, I think it's probably, but yeah, we definitely just want to pray for him and his family, and I do appreciate you asking, but we'll save it for next week. Thanks, appreciate it.
Okay.
And I mean, the Patriots are in no mood to talk about the game. They probably at some level, not that they, you know, have anything to be ashamed of or embarrassed of, but it is also this work in progress when you're in preseason. And I know that the reporters there are doing their jobs and, you know, wanting to ask questions about, you know, execution and plays. You know, I have to constantly remind myself that these guys are treating these games as some version of a very high-level practice. And to sit there and have to answer questions about what is essentially, you know, an exhibition of sorts. I know we're not supposed to use that word. I know that, you know,
I use it all the time.
Well, the NFL doesn't like you to use it.
I don't really
you know,
care.
the team doesn't like you to use it. But it's probably mind-numbing for them to have to answer questions like, you know, what were you thinking on that play? It's like, I was thinking about a bunch of stuff that we're working on right now. I wasn't thinking about executing so that we could get the W. It's a whole different mindset for these guys in these games, and we look at them as games. We're like, the game's on tonight. It's not really a game. So for Belichick or Mac Jones or anyone else to not have to answer questions about the game, it's probably a relief to them because they know it's not really a game.
You're probably right. I had made the comment that I just feel like asking 8 or 9 questions about Isaiah Bolden to me is counterproductive. I would let these guys, let them get with their team, let them get, you know, that.
Yeah.
You know, you come out and what do you need their comments for? Like, there's more important things to worry about.
Yes. Well, let us use that as a basis, as a baseline. Number one, the only thing to take away from this game is hopefully for, you know, more good news on Isaiah Bolden, just in addition to his feeling is in extremities, and they're taking him to the hospital as what feels like testing or maybe at best just precaution. So that is our baseline. Other takeaways from the game as we wrap things up here on the post-game show?
You know, I think just some of the issues that have been consistent in the summer, offensive line, you know, continue to pop up. But, I think still some rays of optimism for the offense overall.
I agree.
Some issues up front with the defense. But, they're a veteran group, so I got to think that they'll pull that stuff together. So overall, I think there were some strides, certainly some positions to look at. But, overall, I think it'll be good to get another week in Tennessee, face another physical football team, and I think they need it.
Paul?
Yeah, I would echo a lot of what Mike said. I thought there were some flashes of optimism tonight offensively. No, probably not enough, but, I think that there were some things that, Kendrick Bourne, Demario Douglas, Mac Jones, you could see why they had some success on Thursday with some of the things that they did tonight. Yeah. Now it's, can you build off of that? Can you stack it together and have a good week in Tennessee? And I'd like to see them maybe have 2 good practices with Tennessee as opposed to 1. One really good day. So that's what I'm looking for in Nashville next week.
I'd just say one more thing, Hardy, is, as Paul mentioned, Bill's going to speak tomorrow, I think at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So, I mean, just my hope is that by that point, we've got some good news on Bolden's status, and Bill's able to then maybe comment on the football game tonight, and we can get back to football hopefully maybe tomorrow.
And so just reading between the lines, it says, I think it's 2 o'clock Central, so it would be 3 o'clock our time, which to me would indicate that the plan was already to stay in Green Bay tonight. So they're going to be flying out to Nashville in the morning. So that's my guess is that press conference, that conference call being that late would indicate once they get to Nashville, right? Because that's still Central Time, correct?
Yeah. Yep, correct.
If that doesn't change, that's a good thing.
Yes.
In terms of Isaiah Bolden.
Yeah.
If you don't see any updates with that, then that means they're going to be leaving as normal, and I think that's a good sign.
All right, so continued prayers and well wishes for Isaiah Bolden as we put a bow on this preseason game number 2. The game was shortened, and with 10:29 left in the game, the score was Packers 17, Patriots 21. That's for you, Paul.
That's just poor to me.
Stares right at you.
That's poor to me.
I do. Thank you to everybody for being a part of the pre and the post-game show. We will talk to you on Friday for the 3rd and final preseason game. We'll speak with you then. Thanks for listening and watching.
Thank you for downloading this podcast. Subscribe on Apple, Google Play, and everywhere else you listen. Like the show? Please rate and review us. Listener comments and ratings help keep us high in the podcast rankings so new listeners can find us. Be sure to check Patriots.com for more news and more podcasts.